This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
The TalkSport Fan Network is proudly supported by McDelivery, bringing you the food you love. McDelivery brings a top-tier line of food right to your door. No matter the result, you'll always be winning with McDelivery. So, the only thing left to say is, you in? Order now on the McDonald's app, and you can also get rewards points delivered too, so that ordering today means some tasty rewards for tomorrow. Only via app at participating restaurants, 18 plus. Rewards registration required. Points only on menu items. Delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Beagrey will look to pick it up and he'll go on here. There's two up here, Bradford. It's Beagrey. He's got to make this count. It's Beagrey. It's 1-1. You'll see a somersault now. You'll get a double.
Right, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to Bradford City vs Gillingham Preview Live. It's on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. So if wherever you are, ask your questions, get your score predictions in, and in today's podcast, we'll be talking about the post-match Grimsby, the pre-match Gillingham game, the latest Bradford City news, the weather forecast for Bradford City game, the score predictions, and what is on your plate. I shall be joined by Diane today, Chris, Lee, Stan, and Georgia, aka Bubbles. Everybody, welcome. So let's get this show on the road. So, starting with Miss Diane, if you can hear me.
I can.
What is your post-match Grimsby thoughts?
At least we got a point. That is the main thing. I thought we were going to lose it. But I wasn't there, so I watched it on iPlayer. So I don't know how we played properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know, I wasn't there or anything, but I did watch it on iPlayer.
So what did you make of the game on the iFollow?
It was all right. I think I don't know. I was doing other stuff and off. That's how I felt. But when they gave Smallwood that penalty, I was like, oh my God, please no. You know what I mean? I was like, please no, not Smallwood. But I'm glad he scored.
You're not the only one, Diane.
I bet you are.
When obviously I went to the game, watched it live as it happened, and Smallwood got the penalty, and I'm like, he's going to miss. If this goes over the bar or keeper saves it, it's going to be toxic as hell in this ground.
It would have been, wouldn't it? It'd have been toxic with Smallwood. But hey ho, at least we got a point. Better than losing.
Yep.
Good thing.
Mr. Stan, you should be able to hear me.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, they're coming both my ears. So what was your thought on did you go to the Grimsby game? And what were your thoughts on the Grimsby game?
I didn't know. It was just one of those things I didn't go. So it was poor, wasn't it? It was like Grimsby were poor, but they were better than us. And the thing when pressed on Jamie Walker to leave your best player out because Grimsby have got a long throw, I was scratching my head with that. And sorry, I'm going to go on and repeat myself, but if anyone thinks give this man a chance to play his own players when he can't even play the players he's got here, and is basically taking out a creative player because another team that are like fighting relegation have got a long throw. Yeah, so it was probably got a point. I don't care at this point. The season's over, so yeah.
And Chris, what's your thoughts on the Grimsby game?
I thought Alexander got wrong choice again, wrong selection. Why didn't he put Walker on at the same time as Kavanagh and Poynton? Because those three would have made it absolutely wonderful. And to be fair, I honestly thought we were going to lose until that penalty decision. And then when Smallwood turned up, I thought, oh, here we go. This is getting blazed right over net. It didn't. But I'll tell you now, if that keeper had been out worth his salt, he'd have saved it, because it just went centre. Again, Smallwood were absolutely shocking. We need to get rid.
Yeah. And Lee, what about your thoughts on the Grimsby game? Did you see it on iFollow, bud?
I did, watched it. Mystified, even now scratching my head, why on earth won't Walker on that pitch? That's the biggest thing for me. We were poor, we lacked any kind of idea going forward. In some ways, we did lose that game, even though it would have 1-1 draw, and we got a point. We were lucky to get. It just lost the fans a little bit more, didn't it, by dropping Walker? Nobody's ever going to understand that.
Yeah, I think with it all, I know we'll get onto it in a bit, but I don't think Graham Alexander's going to be at Bradford City probably next season. Is anyone else got anything they want to talk about the Grimsby game? Okay, take that, Sally.
All I say is, why do people think I like Sam Walker? All pictures I would get enough people for Sam Walker.
You have got a thing for him.
I know. Everybody was sending me pictures.
Right, so moving on to Bradford City versus Gillingham, the 6th of April 2024 at 3 o'clock at the University of Bradford Stadium. The referee is Edward Duckworth, and he has had, in the EFL trophies, had 3 appearances, 15 yellow cards, no second yellows, no reds, 1 penalty. In League One, he's had 10 appearances, 47 yellow cards, 2 second yellows, 1 red, 0 penalties. League 2, he's had 13 appearances, 47 yellow cards, 1 second yellow, 1 red, 5 penalties. FA Cup, he's had 2 appearances, 11 yellow cards, no second yellows, 1 red, 5 penalties. FA Cup, he's had 2 appearances, 11 yellow cards, no second yellows, 1 red card, 1 penalty. In the EFL Cup, he's had 1 appearance, 6 yellow cards, no second yellows, no reds, and no penalties. Altogether, he's had 29 appearances, he's dished out 126 yellow cards, 3 second yellows, 3 red cards, and 7 sending offs. So just a couple of stats. So Bradford City have won 6, they've drawn 8, and Gillingham have won 7. There's quite a few results here, so I'm just going to go back to 2019 when Bradford City lost 4-0 against Gillingham. 2019, Bradford won all. 28th February 2023, Bradford City won 2-0. 27th April 2023, Bradford City drew 2-2. And 16th of December 2023, Gillingham lost 2-0 against Bradford. Gillingham are currently 9th with 42 games played, goal difference of 12 and 60 points. Bradford City are 15th, played 41, goal difference of -5 and .54. The top goal scorer for Bradford is Andy Cook. The top goal scorer for Gillingham is Mahoney, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Cook's had 15, Mahoney's had 6. Cook's had 5 assists, Mahoney's had 4. In matches played, Cook's had 36, Mahoney's had 35. Bradford City are ranked 22 in goals scored per match with 1.2 goals. Andy Cook has the most shots on target per match of 1.3. Andy Cook has created the most chances for Bradford at 10. Gillingham are ranked 24 goals scored per match, 1 goal. Gillingham are ranked 6 goals conceded per match, 1.2. Ramus Hutch is ranked 2 in big chances created. And then quickly going over to the Simon Parker, his possible lineup is Sam Walker, Tompkinson, Platt, Kelly, Brad Halliday, Smallwood, Richardson, Bobby, Walker, Cav, Andy Cook, with substitutes of Chapman, Wright, Smith, Ador, Okikoki, Rydhall, Doyle. And last 4 games, Bradford City drew 1-1 against Grimsby. Tranmere, they won 2-0. Harrogate, we lost 3-0. And Notts County, we lost 3-0. The team news for Bradford, Andy Cook and Kevin McDonald are back in contention after missing the last 2 games. Ike Gilead remains out. Gillingham's team is going to be Morris, Hutton, Enmer, Macedon, Clark, Diang, former Bradford City player, Coleman, Mahoney, Lapslide, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Williams and Hawks, with Andrews, Clark, Walker, McKenz, Oggy and Malone subs bench. The top goal scorer is Colin Mahoney and Colin Mattison, who are on 6. In their last 4 games, they've they lost against Harrogate. They drew 0-0 with Crewe. They won 3-2 at Grimsby. The referee, Ed Duckworth, is from Preston, took charge of Bradford City's 3-1 win at Doncaster just before Crimbo. Match odds, Bradford City are 5-4, Gillingham 11-5, and the draw is 11-5. Last time the side met, Jamie Walker and Andy Cook netted in City's victory at the Prisford Stadium in December. So what's everybody's thoughts on that, starting with Diane?
The team, if he starts with Walker, will be good. I think I've got nearly all them players in the squad. I don't think I put Andy Cook in. I think I put Tyler Smith in my fan hub. But I think it's a good squad. If he does play Jamie from the beginning, and let's hope we can come out and do what we did against Tranmere on Friday last week at Valley Parade again and win. Because that's what we need now is wins at home, even though we've got 2 more matches left at home. But the team should be good if he does start the team. Just fingers crossed.
And Chris?
Well, that's the key, innit? It's all to do with what selection, I say it again, what selection Alexander is going to put out there, because he never puts his top team on, does he? So, if he's going to go with what I've put on Fan Hub, which is basically the same as what the lovely Diane were just mentioning then, I've put out the same team, exactly as what Simon Parker said, apart from I've put Smith up front because I didn't know if Cook were coming back. So now that I know that, I'm going to change it. I would have Cook in for Smith because Smith's been absolutely atrocious, shocking. He's just not scored at all. He's just been poor. If you have Walker in from the start and you start him with Poynton and Kavanagh, both on either side, with Cook up front, I'm not joking, the only one player that will be under his weight when it comes to playing for a really good team, and his first initial is S and the rest of that word is Morwood. He needs to go. He's our only weak link, and I think if you put McDonald in instead of him, that would be an absolute wonder team. So we'll see what happens. It's all on Alexander, and I'm guaranteed that he will make a mistake and he'll put somebody else in that's obscure. And you'll just go, why have you done that, Alexander? Why? Someone like Walker, why are you keeping Walker out? Why is he on bench? He ain't got an injury, so what are you doing? I want him to go, and I want him to go now. I want somebody else in to see what dross we've got and get rid of him. We've done that with a director of football now, so I'm happy about that. It's just a matter of now, look, it's not just him as a bad manager. It's his selections. Over and over again this season, he's been absolutely poor, and I've had enough of it.
Okay, and before we go to Lee, we've had a YouTube coming from Dan, and he's like agreeing with you in a way, Chris, saying with Tyler Smith is garbage, with Alexander selecting him. Apparently, he's had 36 games and he's only scored 4 goals for Bradford. What I think's a bit bad. Lee, so what about yourself?
Can't really add much to what's already been said with Diane and Chris. It's just it is all about Alexander. You never know what he's going to pick 1 minute to next. It's bewildering. Even more bewildering is why he's still here and how he's still here.
Okay.
I can just say it's a sign of the times at the minute.
So I'm going to get rid of the, like last week, get rid of the boring parts. So what's your score predictions for tomorrow, Diane?
Oh God, I did put it this way. I did say to my dad we might beat him 5-0, but that's me saying to my dad 2-1.
You've done it again, Diane.
What?
Has she been drinking again? Is she on booze again?
I'm not having coffee, actually.
All right, I'll let you off. So you think it's 5-0?
No, that's what I said to me dad.
All right. So what's your score prediction?
2-1.
Chris?
Yep, 2-1 to City.
And Lee?
I'm going to go 1-0 City. I don't like betting against my own team, so purely on that basis, 1-0 Bradford, come on.
And Dan on YouTube is going to say 1-1. Jill don't score a lot. Yeah, they don't score a lot. My prediction of that game is I think we might win 2-0, possibly, I'm going to say.
George has just messaged me. And Jake are going 2-0 to City.
Are you coming on? Are you coming on, Bubbles? Are you going to come and have a chat with us today? I know you're there. Are you going to come and have a chit chat? I'll invite you. Also, Crypto, I'll invite you if you want to come and have a chat. And if anyone else wants to come and chat, put a request in. Because I know Stan's disappeared. Hopefully he'll come back soon. Right, so the latest Oh, she's here. She's here. She's here.
Hiya!
Right, Miss Bubbles. So what did you make of the Grimsby game?
Hiya, Bubbles.
I was there. That much so the little one just went on his phone. It was that boring. He was sat on his phone with his headphones on. That were it.
Okay. And what did your little one think of the game? Your brother? Is it your brother? What did your brother think?
Yeah.
What did you think of the game in PG terms?
I thought it was a pile of poo. See? He just said poo.
Pile of poo. And what was your thoughts, or what's your thoughts on the Gillingham game?
I'm a bit like, I don't know. Jake wants it to be a win. I want it to be. I think everybody does, but it's one of these you're just not sure. It's the fact that he's even got opinions on Smallwood. For a 7-year-old, he's got strong opinions on Smallwood.
Okay. And would you stick with the same team, or would you change it?
I'd put Walker in for definite start. I don't know what he was thinking, not putting Walker on. And I don't even want him to put Smallwood on. I think just no Smallwood at all.
Okay. And I see Miss Callie has sneaked in again. So, what's your excuse today, Callie?
Hiya, Callie.
Hi, everyone. I don't sneak in.
You do. You sneak in all the time.
How can I sneak in when you announce it? Really?
You do. You sneak in. You're like a ninja. You come through the back door.
I have a busy life.
I know you do.
She's got her ninja slippers on. Come on. Give girl a chance.
So, Callie, what was your thoughts on the Grimsby game?
Thoughts on Grimsby? It was just a friendly, wasn't it? It was just a friendly, to be fair. There were no going on, and then we pinched it at the end. It were kind of... I did feel like we kind of won it at the end because it did feel like a win rather than a draw. I think Smallwood needed to put... I think if Smallwood hadn't put that penalty in, it would have been chaos. But I don't get why he took it either.
You're not the only one.
No, he just needs to. It needs to get out of our club. If I'm honest, more than bloody management team.
Management.
And what was your
team?
And what was your thoughts on what's your thoughts on the Gillingham game?
For tomorrow.
Yes, for tomorrow. Yes.
I think it's just going to be another boring game because we've got nothing to play for. So I mean, yeah, they've got a bit of pride to play for, but nothing else, is there?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be another draw tomorrow, if I'm honest.
Right. And possibly McDonald as well. They're two pluses. So
yeah, McDonald's fit tomorrow, isn't he?
They're both been declared fit. I don't know if you saw Alexander thing today on YouTube. His podcast thing or whatever it is.
I've had because I've renewed my season ticket. I've had a message from Alexander. I know it's a generic thing, but I'm not even.
Oh, it's not another fan, is it? Let him down lightly.
Yeah. Hi, Crypto, by the way. I know he's sat there listening. Hi. Just saying.
He waits for you to come every week, Callie. He's there every week, religiously. So before we move on to the latest Bradford news, we've had Cameron on TikTok. So hi, Cameron. He saw me in Blackpool last week. So people recognising me. So cheers, Cameron. He saw me on the beach. He was playing football with his little bro on the beach. So I hope you enjoyed Blackpool, Cameron. Right, moving on to the latest Bradford City news. And I'll start off with...
Can I just say something?
Yeah, go for it.
Hi. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's well. I hope everybody's okay listening on YouTube and stuff like that as well. I just want to give my thoughts on the Grimsby game. I thought we was extremely lucky to get a draw. Really lucky. Credit to Grimsby. I think they outplayed us. If I'm being honest, we just all we seemed to do was just hoof the ball about. Like hoofball central, do you know what I mean? So, and to get that penalty at the end, I mean, we were lucky. We were really lucky. So that's what I just wanted to say on the game. And going forward, I'd like to see McDonald playing. It was nice to see Poynton giving another go, even though he did get brought off. But yeah, no Cook again. So whether he's... I don't know whether it's just like giving him a breather or what, I don't know. But like I said a couple of podcasts ago, I think Cook will be going at the end of the season. I think he'll be sold.
What's your thoughts on the Gillingham game, bud?
I don't think it's going to be too exciting. Because I think it's going to be quite close because Gillingham are fighting for their lives. And you can never really write a team off when they're fighting for their lives. So I don't think it's going to be a big 3-4, 5-1 demolition or anything like that, like Mansfield did was. So I don't think we're going to get out like that going. I think it's going to be pretty close. I think it could be maybe a 1-0.
Yeah. Okay, so we've had a couple of stories break from Bradford City today and the other day. So I'm just going to start off with David Sharp has joined Bradford City head of football operations. I think that translates to director of football. The former Wigan Athletic chairman and Mansfield town chief arrived at the University of Bradford Stadium in a newly created role after leaving the One Call Stadium in July last year. 32-year-old was appointed the Stags director of football in May 2020 before named chief executive 5 months later, a role he held close for 3 years. And he's basically going to, I don't want to bore you with it, so he's going to work with Stephen Gent and Graham Alexander and probably Ryan Sparks to bring in players. So, what do you make of this, guys and girls, of Mr. Sharp coming to Bradford City? And to start off with Diane, really, and work across?
Well, as I said on Twitter when I retweeted it, let's see if he can do what he did at Mansfield and Wigan, because he's one of the youngest ones and he's Sparks' mate as well. Hopefully, he'll help them all out and everything and just see what he can do. Because don't forget, he has done chairman at Wigan when he took over his granddad, Dave Wheeler. I know all this stuff, and things. So you just need to see if he can bring what he's done at Mansfield and Wigan to Bradford City, and hopefully he'll get a good recruitment drive going in the summer window when the transfer window opens as well. And we might not just get Middlesbrough players this time. We might get other players as well.
Okay. Crypto?
I agree with Diane, really. I think it's a good appointment. I actually generally at one point, I thought he was going to be doing what, what's his name? Oh my God, it slipped out of my mind now. Who's his best mate?
Sparksy.
Yeah, Sparksy. I actually thought he was going to be taking Sparksy's place, and Sparksy was going to drop down and go back to, doing all the commercial side and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. But yeah, overall, I think it's good for a club. It's like Diane said, he's got proven pedigree in our league at, constructing and getting teams going and stuff like that. And, I think me personally, I think it's a plus for club, but I just think is everything we're trying to do now a little bit too little too late, because it was funny how they released a statement on the eve of a protest, and then and you were saying the chairman, what's it called now, German over in Germany, I forgot what's going on with my head now.
Stefan Rupp.
Stefan Rupp, sorry, yeah. So, and I'm just thinking, Stefan Rupp should have been saying all this stuff straight after Mansfield game when Jamie Rayner were in stadium and stuff like that. When he could have given an interview and stuff, but he decided to release all this stuff saying all this change is coming and stuff like that on the eve of a protest, which I found very suspicious. It'd be more believable from me personally if he'd have said it straight after Mansfield game, given an interview and stuff like that. But the cogs are turning. They are starting to do a few things. So I renewed my season ticket today over in A block. We're just going to wait to see what comes available in B block, and then our lot are possibly going to go over into B block. But a positive out of a negative, at least they're starting to do something. And they're starting with somebody who's done this before, and he's managed to put together some good squads in past as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm happy with it.
So before we go to who's next, Bubbles, Georgia. While I've got you here, mate, I'm just gonna have a quick look for you. Taking me 10 seconds. So the B block currently, where you like to go, altogether there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5. There's 6 seats left.
Yeah, we've all renewed in A block at the moment. We're all more or less sort of like J and I block.
Yeah.
So
looking on people's obviously on Facebook groups and stuff on Bradford City Chickens on the Loose, Bradford City Up the Chickens on Facebook, there's quite a lot of people rebelling and basically saying they're going to stay where they are. So what's your thoughts on that? If you want to move over to the big block, what's your thoughts on it?
End of the day, I've read some comments on Facebook, some of the screenshots that have been going around in our group that I've seen, like people saying I've been in this seat for like 30, 40 years. They're not, the club have not given no consideration by moving all the people from Northwest Corner, and we don't want them near us and this and over. But at the end of the day, you don't marry a seat, do you? Do you know what I mean? So, I understand it to an extent, that they've thought, they've got like their own little community there and stuff, we've got to know people around them and stuff like that. But when all these seats, because I think it's not too many days away, is it, where basically people aren't renewed, everything will come back up, and there's a big push by some people in B-Block to try and get together and renew the seats and stay together and stuff like that, which is fine, I get that. Do you know what I mean? That's up to them. Do you know what I mean? But there's still not 100% confirmation by the club that the drum is going in B block. It could end up in A.
Yeah. So while I've got you here again, so I've just got the Bradford City AFC official Facebook page up, and basically one day ago, supporters currently seated in the lower tier of the COP will have an exclusive 24-hour period to swap seats. 2024-25 campaign on the season go back on sale. That's currently had 8 shares and there's 218 comments.
That says it all, doesn't it, Ross?
Yeah, so I'll just quickly find one. So total like, I'm not going to mention names, but one of the comments, total discard to fans, as usually forcing fans to move seat renewal for the reason is these. And then just basically people, I'm not moving anywhere, been sat there for years, I am not changing. There's loads. Don't think you realise how many long-term fans are our block and strongly feel about it. I think the club will try forcible evict us at some point. So I know George is waiting patiently. Put my teeth back in. But what do you reckon of all these comments and such as say, like I think we've talked about it previous crypto, where you've had Betty who's been sat in a seat for like 60 odd years. Do you think she'll get peed off if someone decides to shove a flag in her face?
Yeah, I do. I think a few of them, it's going to be a bit of a shock for them because, like, you can't expect when it starts to get exciting and stuff like that, and we're on the attack and we're towards the cop and we're looking like we're going to score. You can't expect like all people just to be sat on the sat on the backside. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be people stood up all the time, waving flags, banging the drum, singing and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean. The people who sing are the heartbeat of the club. Do you know what I mean? They're the standing noise. They're the ones that get, when it is going well, they're the ones that start getting everybody else into the mood of, singing along with some of the songs that that they like to sing along to and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? You can't really expect them to be sat down all the time and clap harder and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to have, there's going to be a little bit of disgruntlement at first, and it's just how the stewards are going to manage it, because there will be complaints when you've got flags flying in people's faces and they're used to sitting down, and suddenly you've got like loads of fans jumping up and down and flags, and trust me, when that drum starts getting banged about, and it is, I'm telling you now, it's loud. It's a lot louder than people think when it's quite close to you in proximity. And I've said before, it passed. You know what I mean? You go out and your ears are ringing. Do you know what I mean? So
there's a part of the statement I want to read to you, Crypto, and I want to get your thoughts on it. So the 4th of April 2024, basically, I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook, the club released the seat swap ticket update, and there's a part at the top where it says this move is in line with the Sports Ground Safety Authority, I can't even pronounce that name, in brackets SGSA regulation. After the club received communication from SGSA, the proceedings standing cannot be permitted in the upper tier of the University of Bradford Stadium. Should this continue, measures will be put in place, including introducing capacity restriction at Valley Parade. So that's telling me that people have been standing up in North West Corner. And
absolutely,
looking at that, it looks like somebody's come in, obviously these safety ground people come in and said, that's dangerous. So what happens if people start standing up in B block? And I was like, Callie mentioned it last time, where like when they're on the break, everybody stands up and stuff like that. So what's your thoughts on that statement there, then, from Bradford City and the safety ground board?
To be fair, like I said, it just brings me back to my other point. How are they going to police it, the stewards? Because you are going to get loads of people wanting to stand. It's just the nature of a beast in football. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully, it's like saying, well, how are you going to stop them waving the flags when the flags are flying across people? You know what I mean? Because some of them flags are pretty long, pretty big. So when they're getting waved about, what they're going to do? Are they going to go to the steward and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I want to make a complaint because the atmosphere section are waving the flags and I can't see"? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
I think it's going to be obviously like World War III. People, obviously, the new people are going to come in, move in there, and obviously people don't want to move. I know we've discussed it previously on other podcasts about it, but I think it's going to end nasty. I think it's going to end badly, personally.
I wouldn't say it's going to end badly. I think there will be, at first, like you say, there's quite a lot of us over in A block, so, and if there's enough space for our group and some others who I've been speaking to, you know, when all these seats come up after deadline passes, what you mentioned earlier, then, you know, we are going to transfer into B block. There's no doubts about that. That will happen. However,
people are going to move though.
However, most of us will be in A block at the moment as it stands. But like I said, there's no confirmation again from the club exactly where, you know, the atmosphere block is going to be, you know, like 100%. So they might look at it and say, right, well, if the majority of the atmosphere section are in A block, why not just keep it in A block? And then that stops most of the problems happening in B block, doesn't it? You know, with the people wanting to keep the seats and then for not having people standing up and flags waving in their faces and stuff like that. That's what I do personally. If there are anyone on this social media now listening from the club or who's got close connections to club on your YouTube channel or any of your other social media channels who's listening to this, I would strongly recommend that you say, do you know what? Let's keep the atmosphere section and we'll keep them in A block. I think that'd be a lot better for obviously. Harmony of the club.
Who's advising the club to do all this stuff?
I don't know.
It's just creating friction where you don't need it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Do you know what I mean? They just.
I think it's from Oxley. You know, like in Mickey Mouse Trophy, we've had people in B block, haven't we? And club have probably looked at it and gone, "Oh, this is a good idea." This, and they've probably gone from there.
I were recently, not too long ago, working up in Scotland for a week or so with one of my colleagues, and we went to go watch Hearts play, and we was in like the main stand bit, but their like atmosphere section was directly behind the goal, probably a few rows up from behind the goal, with the drums and all the people who stood there singing and stuff like that. It felt like it looked pretty good. It looked pretty mint, to be fair.
Yeah,
and it seemed to like echo around, you know, around the stadium. It was really good. I mean, the noise, it seemed to travel well, but we'll see.
So I know Bubbles has been waiting for a while. I'm just going to rename you Bubbles. It's easy to remember your name, Georgia. So we'll go Georgia. So Georgia, what's your thoughts on the new director of football bloke?
Well, I agree with what Diane said. All I can say on top of that, though, is just see what happens, see if it's any good, and see where it takes us.
Yeah.
And back to this Northwest Corner thing, I've moved as well because I went Northwest Corner and I've moved to Block B. But I've done it more for the fact of Littleton being able to see better because he's got problems with his eyes. So...
Yeah, so we've been speaking to Crypto. I don't know what you've heard, Georgia. What's your take on the 208 Facebook comments where people are refusing to move and other bits and bobs?
I'm just not getting involved in all that. I'm just like, no, this is not for me. I've moved because obviously my brother's disabled. He's autistic. So I've done it more for my little brother. Yeah, I sit more or less not too far from the drum as it is. But again, I'm not doing it for that side. I'm doing it for Jake. I'm doing it for the fact so he can see. He's not getting too... We're not sitting with them person, we're sitting right at the front. So he's not going to get trampled on and stuff like that. Because if he gets trampled on, I'm sorry, but whoever goes near him, they're going to know about it.
Yeah, it's like me and Callie, like when me and Callie goes to away games. And I know Callie you had a bit of an issue at the Yakin and Stanley game, Cal, with people just being basically barging
Grimsby
forward.
game did it for me.
Oh, at Grimsby.
I was at Grimsby, me, and I was sat near the front, and the amount of people that nearly knocked Jake over were unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was fuming.
Because actually, now you've brought that up, so me and Callie, Laney and Richard and a few other people, we were I think like halfway up, but it was near where the stairwell was, and it was so frustrating that we got there and there was one, I think the stewarding at Grimsby was disgraceful, and if anyone is listening from Grimsby, you need to sort your stewarding out from a away fan perspective. we had it where we've got there and there's one macho man lad thinking, no, it's security. You can't go there. We've blocked this off. And you couldn't see from the back of the ground. So everyone obviously moved forward with that. And then obviously people were in front of us and they're just getting in the way all the time. And it was just frustrating where they were blocking entrances and stuff, and it were bang out of order. Stan, are you back, Stan?
Yes, sorry, I had to take a call.
Okay. What parts did you hear, Stan? What parts did you hear?
Well, I heard just as you were asking about the new guy who's coming to DOF, if that's what he is, and people moving from the seats in the Cup. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on Mr. Sharp?
Well, in the first interview, in the first 5 minutes that I heard him speak, probably fewer than 5 minutes, he talked more sense than Sparks has in the 3-4 years that he's here. He's talking about 1, 2, 3, 5 year plans and having a philosophy, something we've all talked about. The interesting thing is in terms of the dynamic, what actually is going on? Is it a case of is Sparks on the way out, and this is somebody that's going to be a transitional, in terms of getting to know the club, having Sparks in there? Well, let's assume that it is. So I don't know anything, so don't pin anything on me. I'm just speculating. But if that's the case, I think he's probably going to take a look or have a discussion with either new owners or with Stefan and say, what do we want to do? Now, you'd have to trust him that he's been at Mansfield and he's been at Wigan and he kind of has a idea of things like this. So it could be right, okay, we're going to promote the youth. We're going to push that. We're going to play in a certain type of way. If that's the case, does Graham Alexander fit in with that plan or not? So that's probably with that. I've no problem with him coming in, and it can't get any worse, really, can it? So, so it'd be interesting to see if there's any kind of breaking news within the next few months. It might not be. It might be just he comes in and works. I still think even if that is the case, he will probably implement more of a plan, a long-term plan, and like I say, strategy. So that, for me, is a positive thing. And just listening to him, I will say is I prefer the cut of his jib to Sparks's. As far as the COP thing is concerned, and the people not wanting to move, I think they're within the rights. Why should you? Sort of, unless it's just because they want to. The whole thing about the atmosphere section was very reactionary anyway. So you're kind of asking people effectively halfway through a season, when there's renewing the season tickets now, to kind of think suddenly, oh, I'm being moved from a seat. Why? Why not say at the start of the season, right, okay, or over the summer, whenever it was, is like, after this season, we're going to implement this atmosphere section and give people time to get used to the idea. So I think people are perfectly entitled to not want to move. However, I don't feel strongly enough about it myself, but I'm kind of for it. If I'm not on their side, but I understand why they wouldn't want to move. So those are my thoughts on that, and I don't think I have anything else to say just yet. Okay, Chris, what about yourself? Thoughts on Sharp and the northwest corner?
Right, well, Sharp, if you've seen what I've put on previously, you'll know what I've said about Sparks. Sparks is very good commercially, but he knows absolutely nothing. Or as Yorkshire people would say, he knows nought about football at all, right? So bringing Sharp in now to just take over footballing, mate. Yeah, you've got him doing football, you've got other one doing commercial. Done. Let's see what they do as a partnership. With the only one that I'm not sure he'll get anything done with is Gent, because I think his recruitment style is just crap. or anybody that thinks it's just poorer than poor. So basically, him coming in, it can only be good. He's got an head on his shoulders that speaks volumes in so much as what he thinks could happen in this club. He's actually put something like a plan together, and you can sort of see the way that things might go progressing now for future. It's the start of probably a three-tier thing that I was thinking that we need to, it would either at that point in time rip out and change to managers who want us, new director of football who has footballing prowess, and then Gent needs to go. I didn't give him else, to be fair, and get somebody in who actually knows what recruiting's about. So, on the whole, with him, I know I've been a bit long-winded with it, but I think Sharp's appointment is a bonus. Now, going on to the moving of the block down to the bottom end at Cop, we all got this on an email from Bradford City, and it was to vote on where you thought it'd be, and it was a case that you had two choices. Now, I've been a City fan for 40-odd years. And basically, when all the noise was at the back of the Cop, it was brilliant. I don't think people understand. You know, when all songs, all beats, all everything, that drum, especially from the back of the Cop, resonates everywhere. And I put that to them. And it would either that or stay where they are, because I completely understand if someone's been in their seats. I'm not being derogatory to Crypto, I don't like that because he's a top lad. Basically, if anyone goes and you've been in that seat for 10 years, 20 years, whatever, you're going to feel aggrieved that you're being pushed out for somebody else to come in. That's in all walks of life as well. It's not just for City. But yeah, I don't like what Stan says. I don't feel strongly enough about it. It's like, look, it doesn't really affect me. I'm in Bannon's Bar. So I just can't see it happening without any hassle.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Chris. It's like, I know you mean the release that questionnaire, didn't there? But it was a quicker turnaround.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And there's like, I know there's been loads of stuff on Facebook. Like I was saying, I think the club have seen it there, and when obviously it's been like the EFL trophy and stuff like that. They've been there, they've made a racket. And the club have probably gone, that's quite a good idea, putting them down there. But Crypto, you can tell me if I'm wrong here or if I'm being a bit of an idiot. But the northwest corner at the minute, obviously we're near the bottom of the league ish. Northwest corner don't seem to chat much. They don't seem to sing. And I agree with Chris. I think personally it should be back at the top of the Cop. They're out of the way. I don't know if it were to do with stewarding or whatever. And like reading the northwest corner, they're actually keeping like 8 seats open and they're closing the rest. I think it's going to be, when it comes, whenever the season starts, is it 3rd of August or something this year, it starts again. I think it's going to be very uneasy in B block. And I think people may fall out with people over the flags and stuff like that. But things possibly might change after the first game of the season. You never know. I think the club are probably going to try it out, and obviously people are falling out with people, everybody. Right, Lee, moving on to you, bud. Sharp and the northwest corner, what's your thoughts?
Is what it is, isn't it? I think he's been brought in as a bit of a buffer between Sparks and fans, maybe. He's done okay. I wouldn't have said he pulled any trees up at Wigan or whatever. He's definitely got the knowledge that Sparks lacks, in that he does, and he's been brought up in football, so he does know the difference. We just have to wait and see on him. as far as Northwest Corner things, it's just a sign to me that the people are fed up with the club telling them what they're going to do instead of involving them and including them in the decisions. I agree with Chris. The best atmospheres have always been with the noise at the back of the Kop. You can't even question that. It's a no-brainer for me. Why aren't they there? Why aren't they there now? You know, that's what should happen. That's how it's always been.
Okay.
Totally agree.
Yep.
Totally agree. We should be back at Kop. Totally agree.
For sure. It's always been like that. It's never been any different until it became different.
What about if they turned around, Lee and Crypto, and went, right, we're going to put them in T.O. Dallas stand? What would your thoughts be on that?
Exactly the same. It's why?
Who's that going to help?
I'll be happy.
It's not going to do anything. Put them back where they belong. Back at Kop.
Totally agree. But, you know, we spoke about T.S. Dallas stand. We'd be happier there.
Yeah.
It's not realistically going to involve everybody else, though, is it?
In my
being
day.
over there.
Yeah,
yes, it will be heard, and yes, it'll be carrying on doing what it's doing, but it won't get people involved as much as what it would be.
The thing is, Bradford End is no longer the Bradford End that it used to be. It's a totally different building. The atmosphere's probably not going to be the same. You split, you've got some up and some down on second tier. It's just... It's not the Bradford End as was, is it?
And they don't sell beer.
Well, no.
And last but not least, Miss Callie, are you still here? Is she still here or she disappeared?
When you make decisions for your company, you look for the no-brainers. If you have a lot of mailing to do, Stamps.com is the ultimate no-brainer. Use the Stamps.com mobile app to mail everything you need to keep your business running with up to 89% off USPS and UPS. Make the same no-brainer decision as over 1 million other businesses with Stamps.com. Use code PROGRAM for a special offer. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
Away days are great, but there's nothing quite like playing at home. The same goes for McDonald's. Maximise your home advantage with McDelivery. You in? Order now on the McDonald's app. At participating restaurants, 18 plus, serving times, delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Did Donny send her a request again? Hold on, I'll send you a request, Callie. Miss Callie, I've sent you a request. Oh, she sent me one back, typically. Right, Miss Callie, you should be able to speak now. I think Callie's having technical difficulties. Right, well, Callie's having technical difficulties again. So, when the club tweeted out, basically, welcome to David Sharp, rather as new head of operation, I tweeted out, what is he like Mansfield and Latics fans? And I hashtagged them all. And we had quite a few people comment. So we had a guy called Craig Bromfield on Twitter. He put very knowledgeable, great contacts. A part of these he works with, intelligent and seemingly an all-round nice bloke. If anyone can get it right, path he will. He has his work cut out though. You're not owning your own ground, not having the best training facilities. Crawley put underneath, top drawery bloke, you're in safe hands. Rob JL put, made some mistakes here out of lack of experience, but overall did well of recruitment, left us in decent place. Seems to be well liked by Mansfield fans and seem to have set stags for their promotion campaign. Brendan, one of the best in the business. And then Jake tweeted out a video with an evening with Nigel Clough. Very safe hands, did brilliant job at Mansfield. Clough even talked about him as his job's perspective impacted the season. And then we've put Che, he's mint. That's the most annoying thing. And John put very good, a big part in the last 7 years, building Mansfield to where we are now. Give him a bit of time and you'll be challenging. So I've just looked up and Miss Callie should be able to hear us now.
Yeah, sorry. I've had every man and his dog ringing me. Sorry.
Every man and his dog. Right.
Every man
What's
and
your
his dog.
thoughts? What's your thoughts on Sharp and the northwest corner? And I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Sharp, I think he'll be really good for us. Look what he's done at Mansfield. He knows League Two. So, and like you said, it can't be any worse. I do feel like they've brought him in at this time to try and book up the season tickets, if I'm honest. They're trying to show the fans that the club are doing things, and obviously Rupp's letter to everybody, they're trying to show that that's happening. I feel like they're doing it at this time for that reason. Northwest corner, obviously I'm in C block in Lower Cop, and obviously I'm going to be quite next door, which I don't mind. I prefer to be where atmosphere is, same as what we do when we go to away games. The point I want to make is all these people that are complaining about it, and a lot of them go to away. I know there's quite a big selection of people that sit in B block that go to away games and sit with the rabble at the away games and are normally part of the rabble at away games. And yet, because it's at home, it's different. And I don't get that side of things.
Rabble?
Yeah, rabble. Well, rabble, youth, whatever you want.
No. How dare you?
I mean that in the nicest possible way. But I'm one of them. I like to sit with them. I like to be... Obviously, you get them few idiots like we had a few of them at Accrington Stanley that were stood directly behind me. But usually, being a woman, when you turn around and give them a bit of grief, 9 times out of 10, they shut up. But yeah, I think it's going to be all right. But preference-wise, I prefer it, like you guys said, to have it back in the upper cop where it used to be. Because once that drum started in the upper cop, the lower cop would then start, and then the both family stands at both sides would then start. And that's how it's always been. So for me, I don't mind it, but yeah, it should be an upper cop.
Right.
Proper match day when that noise begins, isn't it?
Yeah, and it hasn't, has it? I don't think the northwest corner has worked. I mean, I can hear them because
I agree with that.
I'm in bottom at Cop, so I can see them when they start with the drum, and I can hear it. But it doesn't make. I mean, I'm in lower Cop, and it doesn't. When they start, it doesn't make all us start singing. It does when you're nearer to them, but not when you're that far away. I don't think, but. We'll have to see how it goes, won't we, and see what happens.
I think the drummer sometimes falls asleep and actually wakes himself up by accidentally banging the drum.
I've been stood next to the drum. Do you remember? I don't know the guy's name, but he's quite a big lad with ginger hair, and he used to take that drum to like every away game, and it's the sweat coming off him. It's bloody hard work banging that drum. I've seen him do it. And sometimes he has to give sticks to somebody else to carry on because it is hard keeping that going.
Apparently he retired because he got a hand injury or something. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah, I can see that because it is.
Did he get knocked back at a few grounds as well? They wouldn't let him in.
Yeah, they don't let. Some of them don't allow it in, do they? There's quite a few. I've been to quite a few away ones last season.
That's just been miserable,
isn't it? It's just so they don't.
It is mean-spirited.
All I can say in regards to him having to retire, if he had correct hand, wrist, finger technique, he wouldn't have needed to.
So, Miss Diane, everyone's favourite part, before we get to everyone's second favourite part. Do you want to chat about, vent about anything, Diane?
No, not really, apart from that people... I went into ticket office today for something, and the poor guys were run off their feet with people renewing the tickets today. And that's all I'm going to say. They were working really hard in the ticket office, and they look really fed up as well. But no, there's not that I want to rant about or rave about.
Stan?
Sorry, speaking of poor finger technique, I couldn't even press the button to turn the mic on. Yeah, nothing really. I'm just hopeful that this guy Sharp, sorry, that's come in. that he is a positive sign. And, you know, unfortunately for me, certain people have to go for him to be really implemented. But it's a step in the right direction. I personally don't care whether Rupp stays in Germany, whether he talks to everybody every day or whether he doesn't say anything. If he leaves somebody in charge that is capable, that's all that matters. So I wish him the best in his role at City. And, yeah, that's all I can say.
Crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really got out to gripe about at this moment right now. I mean, I think the only gripe I would have had were basically the Roop decided to release that statement on the eve of the protest. There's going to be more protests happening, by the way. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. I don't know when or anything like that, but I went to a protest and I was still talking to the bloke who were organising it, and he said that there's going to be more in the future. It'd have been nice for Root to maybe release a statement after 5-1 thrashing by Mansfield when he had Jamie Rayner then, and you know what I mean? That'd have been a bit more believable in my eyes. But, you know, apart from that, you know, Sharp being appointed and stuff like that, it's, you know, it's a step in the right direction. Let's see if Roop actually delivers on his promises that he's been saying in his letter. And going forward, you know, hopefully we can all come together and there's no friction for next season and stuff. And, you know, get the atmosphere back in the ground and get everybody, you know, singing again and, you know, getting behind the team rather than, you know, having like divides in you know, within the fans, you know what I mean, in sections and fans arguing with each other and stuff like that.
And before we go to Georgia, aka Bubbles, we've had a TikTok coming for you, Georgia, from your friend Grace. Everyone say Bubbles for Georgia. Crying faces. Is that one of your relatives, Georgia?
It's my little sister.
All right. So Grace, Georgia's Grace. You better run. She's going to come and knock you out after.
I'm not going to bother because she's not feeling too well today anyway, so she's fine.
All right. So have you got anything you want to chat about, vent about, rant about?
No, just the fact of that the Grimsby game wasn't stewarded properly and Little and nearly got knocked over.
Okay, Chris.
Warm me up.
Yeah, basically I've got two. It's my mate who I go with and his dad. They're not renewing the season tickets. I renewed mine on the second day. And tomorrow, they're not going. So I'm going to make my own way there. And I am definitely going to that game. So all I've got to say is, come on, City!
Oh, man. Echo. Well said, Chris. Come on, City.
Go on, Chris.
Yes.
And Miss Kelly?
I am City till I die, and I do not ever boo the team. I will never boo the team. And like these fair-weathered lads that are just a bit disgruntled by the team now, and who were going, I'm not going to any other game now. Not till the end of the season, they can stuff it. Well, hang on. Are you a real City fan? One of them's actually said that he's going to Bradford Park Avenue. So, nah. I'm sorry. I'm a City through and through. And I am claret and amber. And I will be that way all my life.
Miss Kelly, you want to chat about, vent about, rant about?
No, I'll just say one more thing about Northwest Corner thing. We go to football games to shout and cheer on our teams, not just to sit there in silence like a library. So yeah, let's all get shouting and get behind team. And like Crypto and Chris have already said, let's all come together and get behind the lads. I mean, I know we've not got much now left to fight for this season, but you know what I mean? I've renewed my tickets today. So yeah, come on.
Okay.
What Chris has just said, that's what it means to us all, isn't it? At the end of the day.
As Greaser used to say, it's a funny old game. There's always something to play for. We don't know what's going to happen.
Right. So Stan, it's your time to say your line.
Oh, sorry, I was just closing my curtains. Say that again, Johnny.
So I'm doing your favourite feature next, Stan. You need to say your line.
Right. So tonight's next feature is sponsored by myself of Stan Jammer Photography, where capturing your image is my focus.
Thank you, Stan. We should just get Stan to play that on record it and send us it. Right.
Yeah, I'll send you a recording of it, definitely.
Yeah.
As an MP.
The weather forecast tomorrow. So the sun will rise at 06:28 and will set at 7:53. It's going to be absolutely cracking flags tomorrow, and that is no joke. It's going to be proper sunny, and the highest it's going to get in Bradford/Keighley area is going to be about 16 degrees, so you'll need your shorts. And also, a new feature I've just thought of, the travel. If you are going by train tomorrow to the Bradford City game and probably any other football-related activity tomorrow, there are no trains running. So that again, there's no trains running tomorrow. Also, you'll probably have to jump on the bus. Right. Anyone else got anything they want to say before we disappear for the night?
Yeah, I have. I just love you all. Everybody around the world, stay safe, stay happy, and crack on. Oh, and support Bradford City as well.
And there's always a tomorrow.
Yep. Right. So time to mute everybody. So thank you everybody for joining on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and other social sites, including TikTok. Hope you've enjoyed yourself today. Hope you've had a good Easter. Remember, you can listen to this podcast on any podcast service. Just look for Chickens on the Loose podcast on your podcast provider. We've also got a small Facebook group, Bradford City Up the Chickens on Facebook, where we do Super 6 every season and Golden Goal. Hope we do get 3 points tomorrow. Hope we do win. And hopefully we'll all be smiling tomorrow. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thank you for listening. Up the Chickens. And I'm going to repeat what Chris said. Come on, City!
The TalkSport Fan Network is proudly supported by McDelivery, bringing you the food you love. McDelivery brings a top-tier line of food right to your door. No matter the result, you'll always be winning with McDelivery. So, the only thing left to say is, you in? Order now on the McDonald's app, and you can also get rewards points delivered too, so that ordering today means some tasty rewards for tomorrow. Only via app at participating restaurants, 18+. Rewards registration required. Points only on menu items. Delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
When you make decisions for your company, you look for the no-brainers. If you have a lot of mailing to do, Stamps.com is the ultimate no-brainer. Use the Stamps.com mobile app to mail everything you need to keep your business running with up to 89% off USPS and UPS. Make the same no-brainer decision as over 1 million other businesses with Stamps.com. Use code PROGRAM for a special offer. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.